Welcome to the Virtual College Exploration for All Pennsylvania Students, sponsored by the Pennsylvania Association for College Admission Counseling and StriveScan. PACAC is a nonprofit association comprised of more than 1,200 school counselors, college admission counselors, independent education consultants, and other professionals responsible for guiding students through the important transition from high school to post-secondary options. Thank you for joining us today. A few housekeeping announcements before we get started. You can use the Q&A button on your screen to type your questions to our presenters at any time. Your camera and microphone are off, so the panelists cannot see or hear you. This is just one of the many different sessions happening, so be sure to check out the full schedule at pacac.org. And this presentation is being recorded and will be available within a week at the same website, pacac.org. And I'd now like to turn it over to our presenters from Hofstra.
Thank you so much. So I'm going to go ahead and just share my screen really quick, and then we will jump into introductions. All right, perfect. So hi, everyone. Welcome. My name is Christine Niemeyer. I'm an Assistant Dean of Admission at Hofstra. I work with all of our students from the great state of Pennsylvania, as well as students from Western New York and Northern California. And I'm going to also turn over to one of our current students, Lauren, who's going to give her introduction as well. And we're both here to talk more about Hofstra and answer any questions you have.
Hi everyone, my name is Lauren. I am a current senior at Hofstra. I am majoring in business management with a minor in economics, and I'm also going to be graduating with a degree in economics from a university in China. And that's a really unique dual degree program through Hofstra's Zarv School of Business. Other than working as a tour guide on campus, I'm also a part of the Dean's Business Scholars Program. I'm on my third internship, and I was currently on the e-board for 2 different organizations on campus.
Perfect. So we're going to give you a nice overview of Hofstra. If there are any questions, you can feel free to post them in the Q&A box. Both Lauren and I will be monitoring it as we go along. But of course, we will give a general overview and we'll have Lauren weigh in on some of her experience as being a current Hofstra student. So let's jump right in. So overall, Hofstra is considered a mid-sized school. We are about 6,498 undergraduate students to be exact. So we have a very nice sized population of students, as well as a ton of space throughout our campus. So being a mid-sized school, you get the opportunity to constantly meet new people, but we are small enough that you still get to make your close-knit group of friends while you're at Hofstra. So it's really the perfect environment. The biggest perk to our academic side of campus is that we do have small class sizes. So our average class size is 21 with a student to faculty ratio of 13:1. So you're going to get a lot more personal interaction in the classroom. Your professor will know your name. They're going to be there for you to make sure that you're successful. A lot of our classes do have a lot of hands-on learning and discussion-based learning. So a lot of times a professor might go on about a certain topic for the first half of class and then break you up into groups to kind of talk about that topic as well. Again, like I said, a lot of hands-on learning as well. So you have access to technology, equipment, laboratories, basically from your first day of being a Hofstra student. Lauren, do you want to kind of talk about your experience of like classes and how you feel having that like smaller class environment?
Sure. So that 21 average class size is definitely has been my experience so far. A lot of my classes, even the more basic 101 level classes that I took my freshman year, started off at that smaller size. So for me, that's meant I was able to form some really great relationships with some of my professors. One of my professors I had for an operations management course, and because the class was smaller, I was able to interact more with her one-on-one, and I've been able to go to her for just general career advice and that kind of thing.
Perfect. At Hofstra, we do also offer about 165 different undergraduate programs. So we have a ton of different options for you. We do welcome students to double major or have a minor as well alongside of their major. The possibilities are really endless. So if you have an idea of certain programs that you want to major in or potentially double major, you can absolutely work alongside of your academic advisor and your faculty advisors, and they will help you every step of the way. Hofstra is also a liberal arts school, so we do have some general education requirements that you need to complete, usually between your first semester or two of being a student. That is basically the case regardless of what major you are, so it makes it super flexible. If you ever did need to change your major at any point along the way, you won't be so held back too far as catching up on all of your classes and everything. We do also have students represented from 48 of the US states and 78 different countries. So like I said, constantly meeting new people, but from really all different walks of life, all different parts of the US, and as well as outside of the United States. So location of Hofstra's campus, if you are not directly familiar, we are of course located in New York State. More specifically, we are on Long Island. So Long Island is as suburban, residential, and green of an environment as you can get. That bottom left-hand side picture is our campus, one of our quads on our campus actually. That's pretty much a typical day that you'll find on our campus. Students are always walking around outside. Even right now during COVID, we have a ton of outdoor programming and spacing for students to still be outdoors, you know, socialize with each other, but maintaining a safe distance when they need to. We have a ton of things to do nearby campus. We have one of the largest malls on the East Coast, beaches, parks, Target, Stop and Shop, whatever you need are all within 10 to 15 minutes of campus. So you are definitely not in the middle of nowhere. There is a ton to do surrounded by campus. Another big perk is that we are so close to New York City. So we are about a 40-minute train ride away from New York City. Great opportunity for students to go do internships, also as well just like sightseeing, going on school sponsored trips into the city. There's a ton of opportunity. So if you really want to have a typical campus life experience, but still also be close to New York City and have the ability to experience the city, but not live in the heart of it with all of the hustle and bustle that goes on there, then Hofstra really is a great place for that. Lauren, do you have any kind of little tidbits that you want to throw in there as far as like Long Island or just your experience going into the city, like how often you do that?
Yeah, so normally just going into the city, I'll go in with my friends a few times per semester. One of my friends who graduated in the spring lives in the city now, so we've been able to go in to visit her. And it is really convenient. I know a lot of my friends do intern during the weekdays, so they're able to get into the city for those internships, no problem. And we even have a Hofstra shuttle that brings you to those train stations. So super convenient, and just getting around on Long Island too, there's a ton to do. I was at the beach the other week with my friends just hanging out, so you have a ton of options.
Perfect. Okay, so like we mentioned, internships is definitely a big part of being a Hofstra student, especially with our connection to New York City and basically just throughout all of Long Island, New York State, as well as other states that are pretty close by to us, or even if you want to experience another part of the US, if you want to go over to like California, we have a ton of different connections all over. So about 71% of our students complete at least one internship by the time that you graduate. You can see that we work with a lot of big name companies that are showing up on that list there, but there are so many opportunities. You'll work directly with our Career Center on campus in order to critique your resume, look at your cover letter, work on your interview skills, and apply for any of those internships and really network in the field that you're looking to go into so that you have more opportunity for that potential job offer by the time that you graduate. And I know Lauren can definitely weigh in on some internship experience for sure.
Yeah, so currently I'm on my third internship. My first two I was able to secure through Hofstra. So because of the dual degree program that I'm a part of, my first internship was as a global business intern at a company in China. So I was able to work there for 6 weeks with a whole cohort of other Hofstra students. And then this past summer, I was applying to a lot of external internships, but a lot of them got canceled because of COVID. But I was still able to find an internship through Hofstra's Center for Entrepreneurship. And then this semester, I'm interning with a company called Endpoint Clinical, who they own a lot of technologies related to clinical trials. So they've been super busy. So I'm talking about possibly working with them full time after I graduate.
Okay. Very exciting. Okay. So just to give you an idea, this slide, it kind of shows you all the different programs that we do offer. Of course, we have 165 different ones, like I did mention. So a lot of these programs expand even further than what you are just seeing on this slide. But it definitely gives you an idea to see all the different programs we do offer. That website at the bottom of the slide, hofstra.edu/majors, will actually give the opportunity to look into those specific programs as far as what classes that you might be able to take. So in case you're unsure of what you want to major in, or if you potentially want to double major or add a minor, highly recommend looking at that so that this way you can see what might interest you in that area. So a big part of being a Hofstra student is involvement on our campus, and this is definitely something that we look for in students that apply to Hofstra as well. We really pride ourselves on having very well-rounded students at Hofstra. We do have over 220 clubs and organizations. Almost anything that you can really think of, we probably have it on our campus. If we don't, you do have the opportunity to create your own club as well, which is really awesome. So we have anything between academic organizations, fraternities and sororities, community service organizations, a cappella groups, dance groups, anything that you could think of. Like I said, we probably have it. All of our student leaders are involved in community service as well. So they spend about 100,000 hours each year giving back to the community, whether it is in the local area on Long Island, in the neighboring towns, going into the city, anything like that. We have a ton of different events that the school will host that our student leaders will participate in. And they just genuinely really want to give back to the community. It's something of being a Hofstra student that just makes you want to take part in that community service. So it's really great to see all of our students participating in that. We are also a Division I school for athletics, so we have 21 NCAA Division I sports teams. Even if you are not directly playing on those teams, it's just a really big part of our spirit support on our campus. So if you want to be on a campus that has that really big energy around being a highly competitive school on the sports level, but you still, again, get that mid-sized campus feel, you're not lost in the shuffle, you can easily like go into our arena, watch our men and women's basketball team play, and find your friends like sitting in the arena and group together. And you'll get a ton of free swag. They're always giving out free t-shirts and things like that at all of our sporting events. But it is just a really great time to support our teams. And we do as well guarantee 4 years of on-campus housing. So you are not in danger from year to year of losing your spot on campus. We have two different style residence halls, basically. So we have your typical residential housing, which is located in our towers on campus. That is what you think of on a regular college campus. When you walk in the building, there's a hallway. Every room has usually 2 people in each room, and then everyone shares a bathroom within that hallway. The other option we have is a suite style housing, very popular for our first year students. It is 4 people assigned to a shared space. You have a common room, which is similar to a living room that you would decorate, a bathroom that's shared amongst the 4 of you, and then 2 rooms with 2 people in each room. One of the greatest things about our suite style is that you are not compromised on space. So those bedrooms in the suite will be the same size as if you were in our regular residential rooms in our towers. So they are not shrunken down like some other schools might be. You will have the same amount of space. And our suite style has plenty of options for our first year students. We actually have specific buildings on campus that are only for first year students. So this way you're all living together in the same boat and assimilating to campus kind of together. But I will definitely have Lauren, our current student, weigh in on her housing experiences, club experience, and everything like that.
Yeah, so just to start with housing first, I lived in one of the towers my freshman and sophomore year. So in that case, I was in a double room with the communal bathroom to the floor. And I really liked living there. You know, it was really convenient having the bathroom cleaned for you weekly. And being in those types of buildings, they're open to students from freshman class standing all the way through seniors. So I did have some upperclassmen on my floor, which was great because they were able to help me answer some questions that I was having. And then last year and this year, I live in a suite style option. And like Christy was saying, the rooms are the exact same size. Now it's just the added perk of having our own bathroom within the suite and that common living room area. So it's really up to personal preference. Regardless of which option you pick, you have the same amenities all around. So really up to personal preference. In terms of getting involved on campus, as I mentioned earlier, I was previously on the e-board of 2 different organizations. I'm the former president of DECA, which is a national business competition organization. It's the exact same thing if you have DECA in any of your high schools or if you're familiar with FBLA. And I also served as secretary for Alpha Phi Omega, which is our gender inclusive community service fraternity. So that's the national organization. And that's a nice segue into the community service hours aspect. Being that we're a service fraternity, we get very involved in community service on campus and in the local community as well.
Awesome, thank you. All right, so application deadlines, of course, if you are a current senior right now, or even a junior that may be watching this at any point, the deadlines will not change. So just keep these in the back of your mind. But application deadlines, our first one, early action 1, is November 15th. So of course that one is coming up, with still plenty of time to get your applications in. Our second one is early action 2, deadline is December 15th. With both of those are usually the most popular deadlines that we have students applying to, and you are not locked in, you are not binded to Hofstra if you are accepted. So this is different than early decision. If you see some schools offering early decision, those, in that case, you would be locked into the school. So just keep that in mind. Simply, if you submit your application for either of those deadlines, you're getting everything in earlier. It's one less thing that you have to worry about. And then you're getting your decision from us about a month later after those deadlines. So we work really hard to get you a quick turnaround on your decision and let you know. This way you have plenty of time to weigh out your options, make a campus visit, talk to current students, whatever will help you make your decision. Of course, if you are not ready for either of those deadlines, it is totally fine. You can absolutely apply for a regular decision anytime after that. As applications come into our office, we will start reading them and get decisions out to everyone. One of the biggest things, of course, right now, SAT and ACT exams. It is super crazy right now. I totally get it. If you have not been able to take the exam at all, or if you only took it once and you were hoping to take it again to achieve a better score, you can absolutely apply as test optional. Hofstra has been a test optional school actually for quite some time now. It has been, as far as I know, about like 7 to 8 years that we have been test optional. So we are experts in reviewing applicants that are test optional. Don't feel like you cannot apply to Hofstra without test scores. It is totally fine. If you have been able to take the exam, if you got them in within enough time and you have scores that you want to submit, definitely take a look at our mid-range scores for SAT and ACT. You can see that there. But if you have any questions or if you're unsure of what you should do when you're filling out your application, by all means, feel free to reach out to me. You will receive my contact information, but of course I will share it at the end as well. I'm happy to kind of help you weigh out your options and see what you're debating about doing with your application. Just another bit of information: when you submit your application, you are automatically considered for merit-based scholarship. So you don't have to do any extra paperwork, no additional, like applications and things like that in order to be considered for scholarships that we have on the merit-based level. You will automatically be considered for it and told in your decision letter if you've been awarded a scholarship. So we try and make it very easy for you. So just some fun facts of things that are new this year, even if these are not directly aligned with a particular major that you are interested in doing for your career when you come to Hofstra. It's nice to see that Hofstra is always trying to keep up with what our students are interested in. So if there's a particular career that our students want to go into, we want to make sure that we do have a major offered for that. So you could see our Bachelor of Science in Nursing, very excited. It is a direct entry program. It will be starting for the fall of 2021. So current seniors can start applying for that. Our new program within sports management, still within our last approval stages within New York State. So it should be ready to go by fall of 2021. Again, we are super excited about that. It will actually fall under our school business. Definitely makes us stand out from other schools as opposed to being in our communications program. You'll get a full-on business background with that program. Of course, you can see the other ones. We have launched a filmmaking and writing for screen program, a music business program, and I do always like to mention updates we're making across campus. So our student center has been renovated within the last year. Definitely super nice looking, brand new. I would say, Lauren, you've seen obviously what it looked like previously to what it looks like now. How is thoughts on that?
Yeah. So I love how it looks right now. With the renovation, they added in a brand new Starbucks. So that's always super busy, but it's really nice just having that new student center. I think it was last fall, they like revealed the new version or whatever. So yeah, it's super nice. And that's somewhere that most students pass through every day. So it's nice to have just things being constantly updated and renovated.
All right, so how can you make Hofstra more affordable? Of course, I know tuition is a very large factor in the college decision-making process. So just to keep in mind, for Hofstra, about 95% of our students are awarded some type of financial aid. some type of scholarship or both combined in order to get a discount off of their tuition. So that's the majority of our students are not paying that sticker price, that full price tuition that you might see if you're looking up Hofstra on Google or on the web. You'll probably come up with our sticker price. So just know that there are plenty of opportunities for scholarships to take a discount off of tuition. So you can see our average scholarship last year was close to $26,000. So if you took that off of the cost of our tuition, you can see it's a little over a 50% discount. So we work really hard to try and go out with our highest scholarship offer for you right off the bat when you submit your application. And we will work with you every step of the way to try and make Hofstra the most affordable for you. We will, of course, look at your FAFSA to see if you qualify for any financial aid. Potentially, of course, that could get taken off of your tuition as well. So there are always opportunities. Of course, if you see any outside scholarships, by all means, apply for any and every outside scholarship that you see in order to try and get even more money off of tuition. If you're awarded any outside scholarships, send them over and we will absolutely take them off for you. And of course, while you are paying your 4 years of a college tuition, the biggest thing that you're looking for is a job after graduation, I am sure, besides, of course, having a great 4-year college experience. So about 93% of our Hofstra grads are employed or they are in a graduate program, they are in a medical school, law school, whatever the next step is for them in their career. And that percentage is within about 6 months of graduation. So that is a huge percentage of our students that are really working hard, not only in their classes, but in those internships that they have, in those networking opportunities to get those job offers after they graduate. Potentially, of course, there is opportunity to get a job offer before you graduate. So about 59% of our students actually are offered and accept job offers before they even have a diploma. So a lot of that does come from those internship experiences. And even like Lauren mentioned, all those internship experiences that she's had, giving her that one-up edge against everybody else to potentially get a full-time job offer when she graduates. All right. So what's included in your tuition? So I always just like to point out that all these services listed here are included in your Hofstra tuition. So we don't have any like a la carte pricing or additional fees that some other schools might have. All of this is included. One of the biggest perks as well that I always have questions about is parking on campus. You can absolutely bring a car to campus. All 4 years that you are a student, nothing additional that you are paying for. You just simply register your car from the first day that you get to campus with our public safety office, and you'll get a nice little sticker, and you are all set to go. On the flip side, if you do not have a car that you are bringing to campus, totally fine. You can absolutely still navigate our campus using our shuttle system that's on and off campus. Uber and Lyft will absolutely still come to campus. We have Zip cars that you can rent. So there's plenty of other options, but I always like to mention that since that is a pretty popular question that we always get. Okay. So things that I would recommend doing next, we do have a virtual tour. If you have not done that yet, you can do that at your own pace and just take a look at our campus. We do, of course, have guided options that are virtual, but we also have in-person visits going on as well. So on that second bullet at hofstra.edu/visit, we have a ton of virtual events that you can sign up for. We have our fall open house, which is this Sunday. We have college for a day where you can actually take a class with one of our professors. But like I said, we do have also virtual tours that are guided. So you'll have one of our student pro guides, like Lauren, showing you around campus and giving you their perspective of being a Hofstra student. But of course, if you are able to make an in-person visit, highly recommend it. We are open for in-person tours and we're offering them 7 days a week. So definitely take a look at that calendar to potentially sign up and come see us. Okay. So this is just my contact information. Like I said, I will be sharing this at any point. If you have not already received emails from me, you definitely will be at some point along the way. So you can feel free to reach out to me at any point with any questions. I will also turn it over to Lauren if she has any pieces of advice for our potential students applying to school or just making their college decision. What would you tell them?
I feel like when you're first looking at schools, obviously it's important to think about if there's a major that you're interested in or if there's a location you're really set on. But I feel like looking at the school culture is a really big part of that too. So one of the main reasons I chose Hofstra was because it's definitely a big community and family type of atmosphere. Everyone is super friendly and helpful, and even if you're not necessarily close with someone, like Christy was mentioning, all of the sports games are like super fun, and it's just a really great community to be a part of. So that's just definitely something to keep in mind when you're looking at different schools too.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I'll of course open up if there are any questions. There might not be at this time, which is totally fine. But you can feel free to reach out if you think of anything after watching this session. And I look forward to reading your applications and potentially having you as a Hofstra student. And thank you so much.
All right, thank you all for joining us today. Again, this is just one of the many sessions that's being hosted, and you will be able to get this recording. To find those sessions and that recording, please go to pacac.org. Thank you again, and best of luck with your college search.